You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Hello Sport Podcast. Home of unqualified opinion and unwavering bias. Back on a Monday, 1st of February, the official shittest month for sport globally, except there is a bit on actually this month. Even maybe the pandemic sort of pushed a few things back, but we are in the widely accepted shittest month for sport in the year. That's when Eddie and I really get into our work. That's when we sort of, pull together. If you were thinking about like a scrum, like 1, 2, 3, squeeze and now. This is our squeeze and now basically. Is February where we got to squeeze and now because we got to pull together because it's a shit month. There's not much on. League's about to come. AFL, if you're into it's about to come. But we do have some other shit, as I said.
Australian Open.
Australian Open has been pushed back. Thank you to COVID. Which, again, probably one of the only real bright spots of COVID that I can think of has been the Australian Open being pushed back a couple of weeks. Eddie, you and I, fresh off of your 30th birthday weekend, where you bend Saturday, toll paid Monday.
Look, that's right. Tom, you're right. We're in the squeezer now.
Yeah.
We're in the squeezer now. The weekend really marked, I think, the end of what had been a nice little festive period.
Yes.
Because once that calendar ticks over to February, we're all aware as a people, as a nation, that it's grunt work until sort of
October.
I'll allow if you want to go early, I'll allow you the day after Melbourne Cup because then there's a bit of a vibe.
Well, that's November though.
Yeah,
isn't
but
it?
people start to wind. I think people wind down from there.
Yes, yeah. That's when you start to gear down.
You start to gear down. You're in 6th, then you go down to 5th. If you got 5th down to 4th,
Down to
you know
4th.
what I mean.
Yeah,
and then December's a write-off. We all know that. January, December write-offs. February, grunt work.
February, it's back. Sorry, year started officially.
So
today. First day of the year.
I come to you on the 1st of February, a bit of a mess. It's 7, fucking not much in the morning, and I'm hurting because we had a great weekend.
We had a great weekend, but this was the thing that I was scared of when we decided to do Monday mornings was like, I'm not if I blow out now, it's usually a Friday, but even then, I'm not a blowout guy anymore. My blowouts are pretty. I think the best blowout for a young father is if you can start blowing midday and then you're in bed pretty much by midnight. And that's how I did it for yours. Huge blow. But I tell you, the day was great. I mean, I don't know if there's anything specific. Your speech was great. You're a very good speechman.
Thanks,
I will say that. Then Ella's old man said a speech. Your old man said a speech. It was great to see your parents, actually, because I haven't seen them since your 21st. That was nice.
Yeah,
seeing Mama and Papa Simps out there doing the damn
My old
thing.
man said that. He was like, he's like, I've never met Tom, have I? And I go, yeah. He made a speech my 21st.
Yeah.
He goes, your 21st. I go, yeah. He goes, well, how the fuck am I supposed to remember that? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Might have been like a momentous day in your son's life.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I think I was wearing green pants, so if anyone wants to give an insight into the type of person I was at that time in my life. But yeah, so it was a good day.
Ripper
day. Thank you to the Dumbrells.
Huge lift.
Big lift for having us all, for having a bunch of rowdy piss-cutting heroes. But it was more... So I went home at about midnight, got home, sort of like swinging my bloody pee around, like... Because it's quite a set... Like, if you come home before you should... Like, Steph basically thought, I'm like, let's just hope he gets home. Because, I mean, last time I did almost fall asleep at that dude's house. But so the fact that I was at home at 12 or like whatever shit, I was like, yeah, how good am I? Straight to the couch, order some Uber Eats, wrap and roll from Bondi. If you haven't had it,
Which one did you go with? Schnitzel.
Fucking oath. It comes to my house. I'm 2 bites into it and I've gone, this is not enough wrap and roll. Straight back to the phone. I order another one. I order another wrap and roll. And as I finished my wrap and roll, I'm like, fuck, this is going to be forever. What the fuck? I feel like I'm just going to be waiting for the rest of my life. And then it's just bang, 5 a.m. What happened? I woke up. Wrap and roll's come and gone. The guy's been trying to knock on my door and call my phone. whatever it was, $20 down.
Did you eat it?
No, I didn't get it. He didn't even drop it off.
He didn't drop it off.
So he was.
Why didn't he just leave it?
I don't know.
So he felt like he was allowed to take it.
He took.
That's
Yeah.
unacceptable.
I know, that is unacceptable.
Did you get a refund?
No, I haven't even looked. Yesterday wasn't a day for me to do any fucking
That-
follow-ups, you know what I mean? Like, I was just wearing it.
Yeah.
I was just sitting with the decisions I'd made. You know what I mean? Double fucking wrap and roll at midnight. Would have been good. And this sounds weird, and again, maybe an insight. I've thought about that fucking wrap and roll. Like, I've thought about what its fate was.
I think it was consumed in the car up the top.
He did. The guy's going, fuck it, I'm going to give him one more call, and then he doesn't answer. I'm eating this fucking
So he was knocking on
wrap.
your door and shit.
Mate, he had a bunch of fucking messages on the can't get in India, I'm here. I'm like, if you're here, surely that's the protocol. You just drop it out at the front door, right?
I've got leave it at the front door. Like that's my thing.
I think that's mine as well. I'll have to double check that. Maybe it's not.
That's fucking funny, mate.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
So that was tough.
Yeah. Yesterday was tough. It was tough.
And so you went through to what? I mean, it was sort of a Danny Exotic inspired day.
Yeah, a little
can
bit.
say that,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You could
You know,
probably
he was there in spirit, you could almost say.
no red though. Too hot for red.
So way too hot. Way too hot. And then you sort of went through.
Yeah, I went through. Look, went till 5. Got a couple of hours, and then I had lunch yesterday, which was tough.
What do you mean?
Oh, like a family lunch thing. It was down the road. It was a Bathers Pavilion, if anyone knows it. Fucking great spot. Really good food. Really good Bloody Marys. Now,
I'm glad to hear you got into those.
Bloody Marys, for those that don't, realise, they're unrivaled in getting a man back.
Dude, they're one of
from
the
the abyss.
One of the great drinks all time.
If you want to get out, if you find yourself in the Mariana Trench, I mean, I don't know how you got down there.
Well, that's the first question.
Deep. B, I don't know how you're alive, unless you're in a submersible.
Yes.
But let's say you're in both those things, and you need to get out of there. Bloody Mary that fucker
Bloody
up.
Mary. They're
It'll come
actually-
straight
yeah,
to the
yeah.
top.
I think they're fueled on Bloody Marys.
They
Funnily
are.
enough, they're actually, it's
Well,
just a tank.
that's how they get them back up.
Of course, sorry. Down there,
They've got a
petrol,
big tank of Bloody Marys on
Mary
board,
and
and they just
then
Yeah.
straight back up.
inject it straight in the motor, and it
Yeah.
just straight to the
top.
surface. So that's what I did. I had a couple, and I'm like, ooh.
Then you're back. You actually you could lift
I
again.
could go again here.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could.
yeah.
And I should.
You should have. But also you just...
But I knew that today would be so demanding on
Yeah.
the mind, body, soul that I just had to
What time was lunch?
12, which wasn't too bad. But then I had to go back and sort of help clean up a little bit. I
Sunday,
did have to help clean up, which is pretty scat. But then had a big Chinese feed at Balgala Dumpling Inn last night, which was great.
But see, like, what... I would have found it very hard to be out at those places. Like,
But I was also like, I need to thank the family
Oh, so
for
this is
such
with the family
Do you know what
and
I mean?
everything. Oh, yeah,
Well, the
you had to-
Dumbrellas for
yeah,
such
yeah.
a big lift.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
we'll go out for. You know what I mean? Like I can drag myself off the canvas with the help of Bloody Marys.
yeah. You can't be the scat man fucking like...
And I'll go and I'll order 2 Coca-Colas with extra ice, and
Yeah.
I'll get through it.
Yeah, that's fair. You had
You
to.
know what I mean? Spring rolls, dumplings,
That's nice.
Szechuan chicken, all that stuff, all the good stuff.
We played cricket yesterday. And
I didn't see. That's fucking way weirder than what
Yeah, I
I
know.
said.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how you went to Chinese. How do you go play cricket?
I don't
That's
know.
fucking
Yeah,
weird.
that was. And it was pissing rain as well.
Like,
And we got pumped. And the other team was like hyper aggressive. And you're like... I'm too hungover to match their aggression. Like, it's all good fun, right? Like, everyone's talking shit. Like, it's not like we're going to start biffing. But it was just more like, you want to be able to just talk shit back. And I was like, I'm just not. I would want to be anywhere else. I almost vomited when I was batting, like through the helmet guard.
what'd you get?
Not 50. I'm in a form slump, dude. I'm in a form slump.
What'd you get?
38, 5, 6. Well, I averaged 60, so that's a fucking horrible score for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
And we didn't take one wicket. We bowled first, didn't take a wicket, and then then when we were batting, and they obviously whenever they got their first, like first wicket of the day, boys. We were like, oh fuck, good on you, cunts.
How many wides you bowl?
Me personally,
No, the team.
probably a few. I may just let one rip there as well. I hope that wasn't a bad smell because everyone will die. Yeah, probably a couple of wides. I mean, like you know the usual suspects who are a little bit expensive in the bowling. They were once again expensive. The amount, the ability for, and I'm not going to name names for these people to bowl like consistent no balls, like but like no balls where it's like 1 meter to 2 meters above the head of the batsman and potentially 3 meters off the fucking crease, off the wicket. You're just like, this is mental to see. Like, I can't believe it. I was saying, I sometimes wonder, and this isn't directly related to anyone in my cricket team, like, you know, by no means am I a highly coordinated individual. I can throw a ball. I can catch a ball. I can fucking hit a cricket ball. I can hit a tennis ball. You know, those sort of things. Like, it's just like very basic, rudimentary shit. But then when you see someone who like can't do those things, and not just like can't do them, but is like fucking, they look like they've got something wrong with them sometimes. I'm like, I wonder how that would be to like move throughout the world being so unsure of your body movements, like have so little control over what you're doing that like, you know, you can.
But do you think that, you know, what you see in no balls transitions to like how people walk through the
I don't necessarily
day-to-day activity?
I don't mean walking. I'm not trying to extrapolate the art of bowling. As I said, this hasn't to do anything with the people that I'm talking about in the cricket team, but just more like, I don't know. There would have to, I wonder whether there's just like some subconscious like level of coordination that you understand. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like if I found something, if there was something that I was really bad at,
Yeah.
and then I came and I had to confront it regularly in my life, I'd be like, oh, Jesus Christ. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it like
you become nervous? Well, is it like the old driver? You know, maybe they shouldn't have a license anymore, but they do, and they're out there doing it, and they're trying their best, but they're so nervous,
Yeah.
that they're actually becoming very dangerous.
They're beyond like what is, you know,
Well, they become
like a weapon.
of mass destruction.
Yeah,
you could say.
You could.
Now, again, is this a long bow? I don't know.
It's hard to tell.
You make up your own mind at home.
It's hard to tell. All I'm saying is we lost badly. And it was pissing rain. But I don't know if there's anything else from the weekend.
Just wanted to say a small shout out, if I may, to James Bond for going the big lift yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. GoldenEye into Skyfall. No, it wasn't chronological, but that's the way I went.
I love that. GoldenEye into Skyfall's kind of, I think, almost the best of both worlds. You get your old school 90s
Yeah.
or late 2000s.
Well, we get our Bond in Pierce, and then you go into like the modern day stuff.
And the Skyfall, a pretty fucking great one, right?
I really like Skyfall.
Is that the one where it's like set out in that fucking
Scotland.
English cottage and shit? Like, sorry, yeah, Scotland, right? But it's like a cottage in the middle of fucking nowhere. Yeah, that was mad.
And the guy from No Country for Old Men as the villain.
That's right, Christoph Waltz.
no?
No.
Oh, No Country for Old Men. Is that
Christoph Waltz is the Jew hunter.
Sorry, I was thinking the Jew hunter from Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. I don't listen a lot of the time. I just hear like, and then I just.
Well, I think Christoph Waltz was a Bond villain, but
He
in
definitely was.
Yeah, I
Spectre,
think he was one, yeah.
Yeah, he
which
definitely
is the
was
one after. But not important.
Not
What's
really.
important is
James Bond.
all the James Bonds, every single one of them on Stan. Is this a shout out to Stan? No, it's not.
No, it's definitely not.
Like, it's not paid.
No.
But, you know.
Really? That's good.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's good to know. And so, did you just randomly go GoldenEye?
Got up at 9:30. Was like, fuck. Oh, no. Like it was like 10, actually. And I was like, fuck, I'm so hungover. Chookers, gravy. Just chips and gravy. That's all I got. Powerade, chips, gravy.
That's all. That's the initial. This is like the diet.
Large chips, medium gravy. Always got too much gravy, but never want to run out.
No, dude.
So I'm not taking chances.
No.
And I never will.
No.
I get too much gravy, and that's it.
Too much gravy is the perfect amount of gravy. Let's be honest.
You need as much gravy. Like if I run out of gravy, then there's issues.
Yeah, exactly. It's a calamity.
Yeah,
So,
it's a calamity.
so what it is you need more. So could you just take us maybe through your Sunday diet?
Sunday diet was Powerade, large chips, gravy, margarita pizza, duck ragu, pasta, 2 or 3 Bloody Marys, nap. Is there a nap in there? There might have been. And then like spring rolls, dumplings, 2 cans of Coke. The Szechuan chicken, like I think there was like a chicken chow mein in there. It was like some like random.
I don't know how you
pork
ate
thing.
all this shit.
I was like, but I'm like not eating.
Grazing.
Like,
Yeah, they're not full fucking
grazing.
meals.
I'm grazing. Shit like that.
Yeah. Mine was a weird day because obviously I'd fucked up the night before with my wrap and rolls. I was like, I was just sort of a
We
little
fucked
bit,
up with one of them.
Yeah, but I just mean like I was a little bit more like reticent to just start ordering in fucking shitloads of food and, being a bit reckless. I've woken up sort of sheepish. I even went up to the road to see if they'd left it up there.
Of course you did.
They hadn't. And I poked my head out, didn't want anyone to see me, just went back down.
Would you have ate what would you have if you'd gone up there and it was a light drizzle and the bag was wet? And so was the wrapping.
I'd be taking it back down to the house and at least just inspecting it in the safety of my kitchen.
You wouldn't be. You wouldn't eat it on the street.
Man, I got a sandwich press down there. We can see if we can, pack a whack of this bitch back to life. Bit of Tabasco to make it fucking taste hot.
Blow off the ants.
Exactly. Get Louis to lick the ants off and then just fucking get to it. So I woke up. Steph had to go to a baby shower with Evie, so I was sort of like. It was good I was by myself, but I was also like lost. I was at sea. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I just went to the fridge and I had there was some shit in there from dinner from like earlier in the week. So I had for breakfast schnitzels and roast potatoes. Heated up in the stove. I was just like, fuck this. Just pour it in there. And I'm like, this is such a weird breakfast. And
Any sauce?
I think
It feels dry to me.
I think Tabasco. It was dry though. It was dry.
I can tell.
Yeah, no, it was dry. And then I had a bit of Dijon actually.
Okay.
Still Dijon for breakfast after a big night. Not exactly what I'd be not first cab off the rank for me in terms of condiment options.
No.
Then I think I had a sausage roll, tomato sauce just before cricket. Came back.
From where?
Just from a servo. Just a quick one, just to knock it down. Tied me over, get me through.
Did you have a chalky milk?
No, dude, no, I didn't. I was almost vomiting, dude. I almost threw up fucking running between the wickets. It was a really slow outfield, so you'd get onto it, but it would never make it to the boundary. So you would have to run so many singles. Anyway, then got home and I had to look after Evie. Steph was going out somewhere, and while I was cooking Evie dinner, I just found some rice at the back of the fridge and some like sauce from a curry from the start of the week, and I just fucking poured that all together and cooked it up. It was just like one of those ones where like Steph made meatballs for dinner, which is good. Everything pre-dinner was fucking the biggest letdown of a meal I've ever had in my life.
Well, I'm not surprised why.
No.
Think about what you've just explained.
I should have just ordered something. I should have just ordered another wrap and roll. I knew I wasn't going to be disappointed. That was an opportunity missed. Anyway, I don't know if we had anything else we were going to talk with. James Bond. Shout out to James Bond.
Shout out to James.
Shout out to James Bond. And
do you want to talk some sport, maybe?
all right, Eddie. Well, look, we're a bit light on this week. I don't know if we are or if we aren't. There's probably things you could talk about. Someone might be like, did you hear the water polo team got up? And I'll be like, no, I didn't, because I have a life. But there is the rugby league world, the world with which you and I bathe most comfortably, possibly. There seems like there's just a little bit of, the off-season's starting to get to a few players, things bubbling up, things are happening. I think the Tigers of dirty merger fame have a couple of players in some hot water. We'll get to that. But there was a story that came out that I thought was quite interesting, and it just sort of was something I wanted to touch on in terms of celebrating the redemptive quality of rugby league, and that was a yarn that they were saying with regards to one Matt Lodge, as well as a couple other Broncos, but Matt Lodge, amongst his NRL sort of fame, he is also of New York Rampage fame.
Yeah.
Rikers Island Tenant fame.
Going a bit loco.
Going Loco fame. Loco Lodge. But from the sounds of it, the Broncos were somewhere in Queensland, and he foiled some like domestic violence dispute. So,
He did?
Yeah. Him and a couple other players. I think maybe like Jordan Ricky.
Yeah, and Ben Teo.
Ben Teo.
So, yeah, they were on their way home from dinner back to their hotel, and they kind of heard a woman screaming and like basically yelled to them like, "Call the police! He's gonna kill me!" And so they gave her a lift, I think, back to her house. And then they came back. Alex Glenn also came to like check everything was sweet at the house, and then apparently Jordan Ricky tackled the bloke to the ground and held him till police came.
Wow.
So there you go.
You wouldn't want those boys rocking up on your doorstep.
Well,
Good
it's
Lord.
almost the ultimate fucking...
A-team?
Well, but like karma. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like...
Yeah, it is.
You get bloody Loco Lodge knocking on the door when you're being a piece of shit like that guy was, and you go, oh, uh-oh,
Uh-oh.
uh-oh, we're in trouble now.
Yes.
So, and listen, not that apparently in the P's and D's page, which is obviously private, but there was a couple of other ones that I heard from the weekend that involving some old footy players, which we won't mention, but it's like the boys they're still getting into their work in the preseason, and I'm talking about their off-season preseason, or their off-field preseason, if that's it.
Well, I think historically February's probably always been one of the go-to months for an NRL scandal, would you say? Like, that's really where... The off-season's either purest just before dawn, as it were, before the season, or right after the season.
Yes.
As in, like, Mad Monday-esque.
Mad Monday, yeah.
Barley
there's a bit-
Trip-esque.
There's usually like one massive one, maybe like in between end of season, start of season. So that's like your late Decembers, Januaries. There's usually like one big
But
one.
it's usually a standout, sort of all by itself.
Yes, all on its own.
Yep.
And then, yeah, as you get closer to February, players get antsy. Then it's like, you know, all right, we can start getting back into a few fights and shit. Everyone's jacked, you know what I mean? Everyone's getting fucking swole for the season, so they're just full of testosterone.
Yeah.
But Zane Musgrove, is that his name? And another player from the Tigers. Again, I don't know if it's just frustration about the club they're at or whatever. Like, it's hard to know because...
Well, they probably take a look at the roster and go, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
like every Tigers fan, but they got arrested for some sort of, but then released without charge. I don't know, but basically for like a bit of a pub scuffle. But Zane Musgrove, I think, has form. I feel like Zane's been in trouble a couple of times. Just like, come on, brah. Woo up.
You got anything, Dior?
Well, yeah, so they were arrested, not arrested, sorry, they were spoken to by police outside Coogee Bay Hotel. They were released without charge, but it was Zane Musgrove and AJ Kapoa, and Kapoa got a $550 fine for, I think, like, offensive language or abusing police or something, like, yeah.
So they didn't get arrested. I thought they did.
No, they got arrested and released without charge.
Okay.
But I don't think, it doesn't say here, I don't really think they got, like, taken back. It kind of seems like it was more of an on-the-spot.
On the street, sort of.
Ah, I think they did get arrested, and the only reason I think so is because someone, well, a friend of the show, VJ, shout out to you, brah, sent us a thing last night. Now, listen, this segment's had a little bit of references to domestic violence, which obviously is fucking disgusting and reprehensible, but there was a story yesterday that dude who hosts the fucking briefcase show, Andrew O'Keefe,
Yes.
former head of White Ribbon,
Founder as well, which,
Jesus.
for those that don't know, is a domestic violence charity.
Yeah. So he's been accused or alleged or charged, but like it's before the fucking courts. He's not found guilty, but of domestic violencing his missus on Saturday night.
Yep.
And in the article, it's like, was arrested at 3 a.m. and taken to the fucking, you know, wherever the Bondi Junction police station or whatever.
Waverley, I think.
Waverley police station, that's exactly it. And then in the exact same one, in the article with Musgrove and Kapoa, it was like arrested at 3:30 and taken to the Waverley police station. And VJ was like, dude, they were fucking definitely all locked up together at the exact same time. Like Andrew O'Keefe sitting in there with these two jacked NRL players who have just been fucking around as well.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Mate, that Andrew O'Keefe story, like, rattling stuff.
Well, it's just fucked up.
It's fucked up. That's what I mean.
Yeah, if
but
you
like,
did it.
but I mean the fact that he was a founder and like was he former chairman or something of that White Ribbon Foundation is like, holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. I guess it's just kind of like, who knows what he was what he did was great. The white ribbon, and like there's a lot of awareness around domestic violence because of white ribbon and everything they've done. But it's like, well, look, what he's done there hasn't like undone white ribbon's good work. But you're just like, ooh, were you a fraud or
It's undone his work.
Well, completely.
Yeah.
That's without question. But you're like, were you like a fraud, or did you just like, again, alleged, but were you a fraud, or did you just fucking lose control? Either way, we'll leave it before the courts. This isn't a domestic violence podcast.
No, it's not. What did you make of
Tough. Squeeze and now. Squeeze and now. Squeeze and now. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck leaving.
Oh my God.
He's going to rugby union.
Yeah, he is. Now, I think that we all know that the Warriors are never going to win anything.
They weren't going to.
Well, like, never say never, right?
Of course.
Never say never.
As Justin Bieber says in one of his famous songs.
Yes.
I will never say never.
Which really touched the hearts and minds of people all around the globe.
Did. I will fight for forever.
And I think that for things to go that viral, they need to speak a little truth, Tom.
Yes.
And, truth is the language of love.
So
what I'm saying is,
squeezing out.
the fact that you should never say never, but I will say that they weren't going to win this year.
Yeah, no, I will say that. I'll say they were never going to win this year.
And that's why you get on your bike, don't you?
Well, I mean, they're never going to win next year either.
But they're not going to win while he's in his prime.
No, he was never going to win a comp at the Warriors. There you go. Let's say that. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Never say never, but he was never going to win a comp at the Warriors. Unless, like,
they did.
Unless they did, and then you'd go, well, you never say never. But should have listened to Justin. I think he will fucking still rip in rugby union. Because where it's sort of like in New Zealand, all the best players arguably go to rugby union, and then the chaff, if you will, the leftovers, go to the Warriors, largely. I think he was signed by the Roosters. Like he's almost the one that got away from rugby, I feel, as opposed to like, oh, here's some chaff that we thought was chaff, but it was actually wheat.
He played rugby union at school, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
He was in the Auckland Blues youth side. There's some videos of him going around there.
Where are they thinking he'll play?
Fullback.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm assuming he can.
How's his boot?
He could come in on the
bad.
wing. He can. It's not like you can't play your trade and out of position.
He's got big levers. I'm sure he could fucking...
Dude, his running is so good. And that's the thing, like, in the NRL, it's not like with Australia where it's like, oh, Curtis Rona's gone to play rugby union. It's like, oh, he's playing for the Wallabies. And everyone's like, oh, that's... No disrespect to Curtis, but, like, you couldn't even fucking make a rep side in rugby league. Whereas Tuivasa-Sheck was Dally M medalist, fucking premiership with the Roosters, was running for, like, 400 metres a game sometimes. Like, it was just ridiculous fucking numbers. You sort of go, like, his skill set seems like it's almost...
Yeah. I think he'll do well.
Yeah.
I think he'll do very well. Like, he's an animal, right?
Yeah.
He's built to play rugby league or rugby
Yeah,
union.
he's just an athlete.
He's an athlete, mate. Pure and simple. I was just curious, what's his boot like if he's going to play fullback?
Yeah, you'd want to have a boot.
Because he used to kick for conversions for the Roosters, didn't he? From memory?
Yeah, I think he did do a bit of kicking
Not that
once.
they translate
I don't-
necessarily.
I
but
don't know
like
if
he
he was
can.
No, but that's a bit of a
But-
throwback. That's crazy. Did he kick for the Roosters? I
think
can't
he
remember
might
that as
have.
well. Can you look that up, please, Dior? That's
think he might
interesting.
have.
I kind of feel like he might have as well.
But so if he does want to play fullback, would he have to knock off Beauden Barrett for the All Blacks spot?
Well, I mean,
You'd think he'd be
he's
playing.
got to knock off a fuckload of people. Isn't that all that Ben McKenzie as well? Like, I know more about New Zealand rugby, I think, than I do about what Australia has in the options. But, like, look, he's got his work cut out for him.
He didn't kick for the Roosters, but he has done a bit of kicking for the Warriors, but not very much at all.
Okay.
Okay. So it was a false memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got it in my head for some
So
reason.
do I. As soon as you said it, I was like, oh, shit, did he kick? False memory.
Interesting.
Dude, you can have him implanted into your brain.
I think so.
Definitely. You 100% can. But it's more, I think, like I could tell you a false memory and then I could just keep saying it enough that then you would start to remember it.
But you're actually just imagining it.
You're just remembering the images that I've put in your brain or the way you've imagined what I'm saying.
That's right. And then that's now the memory.
That's now the memory.
What's it? The
Wow.
Mandela effect?
Dave, I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Yep. Shared false memory phenomenon, the Mandela effect.
Why Mandela?
Because I think
that feels like Mandela's name's
Because-
getting sullied.
Yeah.
Well, no. Because back in like the 80s or 90s, people thought he had died in prison, like before he got released and became the prime minister or president.
So
there.
everyone just thought he was dead.
Everyone thought he kind of died. Yeah.
That's pretty fucking weird. I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of that ever. See, look, that's why you come to this podcast,
Mate.
to learn new things.
Yeah. The Mandela effect.
Think of it as school.
Shared false memory.
Shared false memory. Yeah.
Love that, Dave.
Love that. Won't
Here you
forget
go.
that.
Look at this little genius we've fucking
Dior, you're doing well today.
pulled out of the bong smoke.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good today. I didn't have as big weekend as you boys, and
Perfect.
had a nice
That's
coffee
all it
this
is. We
morning.
just
so
need
I'm
one
here.
of us to be sort of semi-lucid. So we can,
if we're all in the trenches, it'd be tough.
it'd be a real
Really,
tough
really
one today.
tough.
It'd
Really,
be a real
really
tough one.
tough.
So Mandela effect is basically what you and I just experienced, and the punter and the dribble experience, which is a shared false memory.
Mm.
Roger, not a kicker for the Roosters.
Someone was telling me, Matho, a friend of the show, was telling me the other day,
Good to see Matthew.
just as we sort of transition a little bit, he was saying that he had heard on the grapevine that, and this is Manly chat now,
yeah.
that there was potential for Kieran Foran to start at 6 with Cherry Evans at 7, and then Schuster at lock,
Shiny Josh.
Josh at lock, and then Jakey to the front row.
Then who's because we've obviously lost AFB.
Yeah, and then Tafua's out.
So
I
is
mean,
Schuster
and then
big enough to play back row?
well, apparently he can get up to like the high 90s.
Can you just look up Josh Schuster's dimensions, please? So if Josh
And then,
there's a ball
sorry,
playing back row.
Marty's not back until like round 6 or something, I think.
Oh, really?
I think Marty's out for a little bit.
Didn't know that.
Josh Schuster. Oh wow, he's bigger than I thought. So 185 centimeters, 106 kilograms.
Oh, what?
shit.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think
Where
high
is
90s
all-
is enough to play lock, but that's fucking heavy
Dude,
as shit.
106 is back row central.
Bro, where does he keep all of that? He's not even a big bloke.
Well, he doesn't seem like he is, but again, when you're watching,
185, I thought he was taller than that.
That's what it says here on the Manly
Yeah.
website.
yeah, but 106
Well, that's
kilos.
right, obviously.
He's thick. He's thick.
Born in 2000.
You know where they keep it? They keep it in the thighs, in the trunk,
The
and in the arse and the chest.
Shoulders, arms, chest.
Basically all over your body.
Yeah. You're the sum of your parts, essentially.
Strange, I know.
I like that because there was also yarns of Kieran playing at hooker, and I'm like, the man's already injury prone. Do we want him in the middle tackling monsters all day?
That's exactly right. And that's not going to happen.
No.
They're not going to make him take 40, 50 tackles a game.
Fuck,
That's
it's good
ridiculous.
to see him in maroon again and all the team photos and shit.
You know what? But he looked great.
He does. He looks fit as fuck, dude.
Yeah, I reckon he's come to fucking party.
Yeah,
That's what I
he's
reckon.
come to party. I'm wondering whether he's on what sort of diet he's on. Now, look, obviously we've got the ear of a few higher ups at the club. I just want to know if they can just let us know, DM us, whatever, what diet's Kieran on, because Daddy Burns actually officially 1st of Feb, first day of the year. Not on a diet per se, but I'm putting the wrap and rolls away. I'm on black coffee, no more milk.
What about wrap and rolls on the weekend?
Well, I'm not drinking for February except for a couple of occasions.
Right.
But that's still like I'm not saying like I'm not one of those people saying I'm doing dry Feb, but I'm not. I'm just saying I'm not drinking except for a couple of occasions, one of which is coming up this weekend, I believe.
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, 12 for 12:30.
But yeah, I'd just be very keen to know what diet Kieran's on because he looks fucking svelte.
He does. He looks fucking. He's in great nick.
Yeah,
he's in
really
hot
good
nick.
Yeah,
He's in hot boy nick.
Yeah.
And I look at him and I say, "You look so hot that I'm now convinced you've got another premiership in you."
Yeah, is that 2-time premiership winner Kieran Foran?
That's what I'm thinking.
That sounds
That's
like
what
to me.
That's what I see when I look at him. I
Yeah.
go, "That bloke's got another premiership in him."
Yeah.
Is it a 2021 premiership?
Yeah. 10 years since we won. 10-year anniversary.
Beautiful synergy.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice one. Nice one.
Back where it all began. I think there's something
I
there.
think it's definitely something to think about.
But all I wanted to say was I heard that and I really liked it. Because, I mean, Jake can play it up the fucking front and chuck nut all day. Like, he loves
He
it.
played front row for... Did he play front row for New South Wales? Or am
I think he
making
has in
that
the
up?
past.
Yeah.
I think he has in the past.
He's big enough to do it.
Yeah. And he's got the heart of a lion.
They asked Adam Fanua-Blake of Turncoat fame, of D or Dave fame, the other day about who's the hardest tackler you've had to come up against. And he said, Jake Trbojevic. No doubt. Like, it's Jake Trbojevic.
Does that surprise anyone listening?
There is a part of me, Eddie, and obviously I know that my body, your body, Dave's body, they're not conditioned for the rigours of NRL football, at least not anymore.
You wanted him to snap you?
I want to be snapped by Jake. But I also...
I sort of do, but I also don't want to break ribs. Apparently that's
the
fucked.
problem. That's the problem.
Like,
Yeah.
imagine laying on the couch being like, I just got snapped by Jake and I've literally, he's snapped 4 or 5 of my ribs.
Yeah, but
and
he
now I
doesn't
can't breathe.
hit you high, so he might snap
But
your
ribs
pelvis.
go...
He might, yeah, but
He'd
he's more of a...
He'd have to snap you around the... Yeah.
So he'd probably... Like,
I'd let him snap me around the hips.
the hips and the thighs, but I think you'd want
Not
to,
around the ribs.
No, you just want to have a doctor on hand because if he snaps you in the thighs, he might sever a femoral artery, and that's actually you bleed out very quickly with that. So you just want to have.
Maybe ankles is safe.
Yeah, that's true.
Then
Ankles.
it's not much of a
I
snapping.
don't want him to, and with the greatest
much of a
respect,
snapping.
like Jarrell Yao and fucking or Drew Mitchell me or whatever, when your ankle's like facing the other way.
Just around the side.
Yeah.
But don't hurt my kidneys and shit.
Can you wear like padded suits? And then you go like, snap me though. Like you can snap me now, but I don't want you to hold back. I'm wearing some padding, so you're not going to like hurt my organs, but snap me, Jake.
And you'd have to run at him.
Yeah, you got to run at him, and he's got to snap you.
Like the stuff they train dogs in, you know,
That sort of
kind
shit.
padding.
But I want to be able to get a bit of a head of steam up. Or maybe you let him just run at you as well, so it's like an easily stoppable force. An unstoppable force and an easily removable object being us.
Yeah, I like that. Those dog suits, like they train fucking guard dogs
canines,
in.
but I think a bit smaller.
Maybe a little bit more nimble.
Because I want to be able to feel the snap.
Yeah. Well, mate, you'd feel the snap.
Yeah, but I want
You'd wear one of those sumo suits and feel the snap.
Yeah, but I want to feel the snap. Anyway, that's something to think about, Jake. Reach out.
But what I'm saying in a roundabout way, just to bow like Manly, is that I think we'll win this year.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
Dude, that's funny. I think so too. Especially that with the news that Shiny Josh can play back row and he's big and thick as fuck and he can play the ball. I've always loved Eddie, and I think Manly's always loved. I think Manly fans have always loved when we've had a bit of a fucking ball playing back rower. I'm assuming Josh a bit more of an edge man. Don't know if he's going to be in the middle. And, you know, linking up with his centre and his half and just doing a little Glenn Stewart, Kieran Foran, Jamie Lyon number.
Yeah. I mean, it feels right. It feels right. Look, we could be completely off. This could be all bullshit, but it sounds nice.
We heard it from a person.
It feels nice.
Yep.
And I'd like to know if there's any merit in it. So let us know. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. I've only got one more rugby league story, Eddie, of mine. And it was more, I'm just going to double check though, obviously with my Polly Pocket over here. Joseph Suwali of the most hyped fucking child star in the history of Australian sport fame.
Yeah. Of on fucking stupid money.
Of on the...
And he's only 17 or is he? Is he? Is
No,
he even
he's not
18
18
yet?
He's not 18. He's 17.
He's 17.
And they want him to be able to debut before he's 18, which you have to be 18 to play rugby league now. Whereas you used to be like Jordan Aiken or whatever his name was, debut when he was 16, scored 4 tries. Anyway, Joseph was at Souths, then the Wallabies wanted him, and then there was a big bidding war, and then the Roosters somehow, through what can only be assumed would be allegedly just gross under-the-table payments, allegedly, they secured him, but now he's already made the emerging Blues squad without playing a game of NRL. And I'm cool with it, I guess, but I'm like, is this the most under-pressure fucking kid in the history of Australian sport?
Yeah, look, you could argue both sides of the coin. You could say, you could listen to what people say and go, this kid like is so fucking goddamn special that, you know, you just had to throw the kitchen sink at this kid. And like, you know, off the back of that, you get him in and around rep footy and get him to, you know, feel it,
Yeah.
taste it,
See
what it's all about. Run waters,
Yeah.
play your role,
Yep.
and just get around the system. Meet other potential teammates moving
Potential
forward.
future throbbers.
That's right. You could argue that, but then you could also argue,
The emerging Blues squad should be called potential future throbbers.
yeah, that's because that's what it is.
That's what it is. The potential future throbbers.
The potential future throbbers.
PFTs.
Squad. Yeah, the PFTs. Are you a PFT? Yeah, I am. Well, sweet. Or you could argue that you're just heaping a shitload of pressure on these kids, and that, is that in any way positive? Like, is that going to have any positive effect whatsoever?
Yeah.
Or is it all largely unnecessary?
I guess if you're gonna be a big
Like
throbbing man,
Wayne Bennett, who, one of the greatest managers of all time, thinks bad thing.
to pressure. Yeah, but also the biggest dicks rise when called upon. Ponga, shitloads of hype. He's throbbed.
Yep.
Kirtley, shitloads of hype.
Throbbed. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that this kid will be very, very special. So I think it's all a little bit much. But is it necessary is the argument. You know what I mean?
So I think I saw Willie Mason on the social media platform that goes by the name of Twitter mentioning or saying that, like, by putting him in the Blues squad now, it means that Queensland can't poach him. I'm like,
But
surely they can't poach him anymore anyway.
Mate, the rules are pretty... There is actually an infographic that I used to have on my phone explaining eligibility, Dave. It's probably something you should read, if you know what I mean. And it's pretty, like, it's a little confusing, but it's not that confusing. Yeah. And I would be surprised if, like, putting someone into an emerging Blues squad doesn't... He would have to be in both camps for that to be like a deciding factor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's not even, I don't even remember it being on the infographic, so I think Willie's just dribbling, which should surprise no one.
No, that seems right up his alley. Cool.
To know that he's blue, though.
Yeah, it's always...
I've never thought about it before.
No.
It had never crossed my mind about
you
where
gotta
he's,
consider
what camp he's in. Because, you can never have too many elite cattle. And off the back of this year, or last year's performance, you just ask yourself...
It was a COVID year, mate. It was a write-off.
It was a write-off. It was a COVID year. But they've got some shiny toys in the cot.
Yeah.
In their cot.
Yeah.
So we need shiny...
Queensland cot.
Yeah, Queensland cot's full of shiny toys.
Yeah. Ours is as well, but it's the shine went off a couple of toys last year.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Which was tough.
Is that rugby? The paint came off.
The paint came off.
Is that rugby league? Yeah, I think so.
The batteries came out. Batteries not included in your shiny toys.
Well, that was what? The batteries weren't included.
Which we thought.
We went to turn them on. Went to turn them on. No batteries.
Fine print. You know what the biggest criminal fucking... one of the most criminal things in just society is? Fine print. Basically something so small you can't read that is meant to be like absolve you of all of the misleading things that you might have said.
But it's also inherently misleading because they write it so small that you can't read it.
Exactly. So like whenever I was watching these, it's funny, I literally was thinking about this yesterday or the day before, probably yesterday because I was cynical and upset and just angry at the world due to my headspace. But like all the banking ads and car ads and like, drive away, no more to pay, fucking N90, whatever, ANCAP safety rating, fucking like you can get this thing. And then just the bottom, I can see there's writing there, but I can't read the fucking thing. And it's only up there for a certain amount of time. I'd have to pause the TV, take a screenshot, and then like zoom in to have any chance of actually seeing what the fuck it is. And it's like basically just going, everything we're saying here could be bullshit. If you can be bothered to read the bottom.
It's the worst. Have you ever seen one of an American pharmaceutical commercial?
Yes, dude.
That's the biggest offender. It's
Bro.
like the ad is like, people happily frolicking in a field, family time, having good together. And they'll either like say it really quickly or at the end, or it's in the fine print and it's just like side effects may include like starvation, death,
heart
like growing
attacks,
an extra
fucking
arm,
hemorrhages, like all this shit. When I was over there, and this was when I realized that I was too young to have had shingles, even though I had them, was like the ad in America was for like shingle medication. and it was all like old people riding bikes, and like it was like, have you got shingles, or did it get this medication for shingles? But then it was just all like 100-year-old people, like, you know, with their grandkids and riding for the fucking, you know. But then at the end, it's like side effects may cause. It's almost like that spoken by Jeku.
Yeah.
But you're just like, oh, okay, so you want me to get this medication for my shingles, but I might get fucking a brain hemorrhage from it. You're like, Jesus Christ. At least they tell you, though. At least it's not just in fine print underneath a fucking banking ad. Anyway.
That's rugby league.
That's got to be rugby league, right?
Obviously, we always knew that after such a crushing defeat at home to the Indians, Test cricket we're talking, that there would be a post-mortem.
Fallout. Nuclear fallout.
It's begun in earnest. Now, Justin Langer, who we were praising as, you know, one of the saviours of Australian Test cricket after the fucking debacle of South Africa, and, you know, retaining the Ashes away from home first time since 2001. That was sort of like the culmination of his work, right?
Yep.
Now questions have been asked about his leadership style.
Which was what we were celebrating.
Yeah, which is what it's exactly right. And the intensity by which he brings to the dressing room. Now, a couple of sources inside, I don't know who they'd be. Like, if you're in, like, who's talking to the media?
Salty players, could be someone dropped, could be someone left out.
Have to be, right? Like, you think drop players first and foremost, I think.
Yeah.
Coming out saying that, you know, he's not lost half the dressing room, but sort of had during the season. Like, people weren't listening to him and some people were, and that, you know, he's getting players offside and fucking, you know, got the bowlers offside by going too intense at lunch and, you know, getting a bowl here and there and everywhere. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like, isn't that his role to sort of...
He's got a role there, but also, like, if you're out there and you notice that a bowling tactic's not working, you're not going to be like, oh, well, fucking JL said we had to do it. Like, you're going to sack up and try and have a crack yourself, right?
That's exactly right. Like, you're going to try it for a bit and then go, mate, it wasn't working. Like,
now, are we?
But who's telling Pat Cummins what to do?
But are we also loosely talking about the way you sort of just told me that bit of information? There's also a part of me that thinks like he may have never actually told that to the bowling group. Or did you actually remember reading that?
No, I read it.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, fuck, we could just be getting wild.
No, I read that. I read that. I did read that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be telling people
overcomplicating things.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, the one that I thought was more funny was that he blew up at a player for trying to take a fucking cheese toast.
I was gonna get to that. I want to know when he took it onto the field.
I also want to know who did it. Who do we think did it? I think Marnus did it.
I feel like Marnus Field's too close. You need to be somewhere where you can, you know, kind of just nip away for a second and go get it. And
hang on. When did he take it onto the field? Like, to play?
Yeah.
And it says in this article, during the Brisbane Test, Langer ordered a player not to persist with a habit of taking a toasted sandwich. So it's not the first time he's done it.
Onto to field during play.
That's ridiculous. Okay, well, look, I'm just trying to think about personality-wise, who's fucking weird enough to do that.
But hang on, I'm still confused. Why is that? Like, yeah, you get a serving for that, don't you?
Yeah.
Why have you got a fucking toasted sandwich in your pocket? That's weird as shit.
Especially when we've already got like a history of bringing things onto the field we shouldn't. Now, I'm not sure whether the ICC has outlawed the toasty onto the field, but it could be misconstrued that you're trying to grease it, you know, like fucking...
But also, that's what lunch and tea are for.
Correct. Eat then.
Would you take a fucking sandwich onto the game during a soccer match? They go for 90 minutes.
How hungry are you, dude?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
You must be ravenous.
Yeah, you must.
What are they feeding you?
Malnourished.
I was under the impression he was like, he took it on there during, you know, went on for like an anthem or something. I don't know. I didn't really think about it.
Also a weird time if you were having a ham and cheese toasty while singing the national anthem. But
it's true.
Kind of patriotic as well, though.
Sort of.
Well, a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if is that a national sandwich? Do we have a national sandwich?
It's the Lamington.
Well, sausage
Well, that's
roll.
not a sandwich.
No, it's not, but it's national.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm into the Lamington.
A sausage sizzle. That's the national sandwich.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think so.
Yep, I like that.
I'll go along with that.
Yep. So I mean, we're no closer to working out who it is. If it isn't Marnus, what, Nathan? Is it something where it's like, I feel like I am superior enough in this team that I can do what the fuck I want?
Well, let's think about it logically,
'Cause if
right?
you knew, maybe
if they're
you're not gonna do
you're
it.
going on there to bowl, you've just taken the new seed, he's like, well, I've got an hour at least, probably, before I'm called on. Maybe at least 45 minutes.
So maybe it's not even. So you're saying it would, but it's either it probably isn't the bowlers then, right?
Well, I think it's potentially Nathan because where does he field?
He doesn't field in close, does he?
That's what I mean. So he's got a bit of room to move, and he's got time on his side because he knows that he's probably going to bowl fucking, after at least half an hour. Mitch and the country boy,
and
Mitch and
Nathan
Pat,
as well. Nathan's
Mitch.
body doesn't scream like elite athlete, right? Like he doesn't have the body of an elite athlete.
But I look at him and I go, that man eats toasted sandwiches.
That's it. He's got a body that looks like a toasted sandwich.
He does. I look at him. I go, mate, you eat toasted sandwiches. I look at that little
skinny
tiny
fat gut,
the little skinny fat gut, which is fueled on toasted sandwiches.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, you like them.
You love toasted sambos. Now, there's no judgment here. I'm a fucking huge I mean, you can probably tell. Huge toasted sandwich fan. Not this month. But I feel like Nathan, that makes sense to me here.
The other thing I would say, just if we're going down this toasted sandwich rhetoric, which I think we should, we need to unpack this. Is Nathan getting too is he so comfortable in his 100th test? He goes, I can do whatever the fuck I want? Or has he always done this? And now JL, when we're down fucking, it's 1-1 and we're backs against the wall and it's looking more and more dire, is he then blowing up about the toasted sandwich thing?
Because that's a problem. If he's always done it,
because there's no consistency there.
He needs. If he's always done it, then give him a fucking Breville. Get a Breville out there if he needs it.
Mate, toast him on the fucking sideline. You know what I mean?
Man just there with a bloody thing of butter. Because you got to butter both sides of the bread first, otherwise it sticks to it. It's a whole shit fight, right?
Yeah.
Probably don't put any tomato in there because that's too
no
hot.
way. Why? Because tomato's 90% water or whatever it is, and it fucking heats up. It's like drinking boiling water, eating boiling water.
It burn his mouth to shit. He just needs some ham, some cheese.
And he needs a condiment.
Yeah.
Like a beautiful relish. Or
something
like a nice,
there, right?
beautiful chutney.
Oh, the bloody, what's that relish we used to get all the time when we were in uni at Bathurst?
Chutney.
Pickled relish or some shit.
Oh, yeah. I'd
Remember
forgotten about that.
obsessed
That
with?
was sick,
That
dude.
was really good. Was it pickle relish? I think
It was like pickle relish.
Shout out to pickle
dribblers,
relish.
dude. Shit. Fuck yeah.
And that was essential in any toasted sandwich made in that.
We
household.
used to eat a shitload of toasted sandwiches, bro.
Dude, that's uni diet.
And chicky burgers.
Yeah, chicken burgers that were 30% chicken.
Because our friend Jarch used to started not eating chicken burgers, and we used to love chicken burgers, right? And we were like, mate,
it was a pack of 30 for like $10.
Like, why wouldn't you eat chicky burgers with us? And he's like, have a look at the packet, and we did, and it was 30% chicken. And look, the intake went down.
They
but
look
that
like
didn't-
hash browns. They look like hash browns, and they were 30% chicken, but
That was so good.
they were good.
I'm confused where you guys are buying 30 packs of chicken burgers for $10.
Woolworths or Coles.
And are they frozen?
Yes.
And it's just the patties, or it's the whole burger?
Patties.
Oh, it's the
Oh,
patties.
it's the patties.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But we would make chicky burgers
Yeah,
with the patty that was 30%
Was it
chicken.
was it an oven kind of deal?
No,
No,
we'd
my
pan-
fry
we'd
pan.
fry-
Fry pan. Oh, okay. No, that's impressive.
We'd fry pan, and then we'd fry pan them, and then you'd get them and then you'd toast them, and then you'd put them in the bread and toast them. Wouldn't we? Put them on a toasty after that. I can't remember. Look,
To be honest, we'd eat them on the rocks. We'd eat them neat.
Lick them while they're frozen on a hot day.
However we wanted it. The
Yeah.
chicky burg was...
but the chicky burger reigned supreme.
Yeah, it did.
Where am I?
Relish.
Relish. He's
Yeah.
got relish on there.
12th man on the sideline making toasted sambos for Lion, if that's what he needs. If that's what he's always done throughout his career, get the Breville down there, get the 12th man making toasted sambos. If it's not the first, if he hasn't been doing this his whole career and this is just a symptom, and again, we don't even know if Nathan's done it, but we're going to go with Nathan. If this is just a symptom of someone that has become too comfortable in the team and now I can start fucking taking sandwiches out onto the goddamn field, then JL's right to pull him up.
I would also argue the other side. Let's assume it is Nathan, which we think it probably is.
Yeah.
He didn't take many wickets. He didn't close out matches. Now, if that is a symptom of him being denied his right to a
Toasted sambo.
to a gorgeously appointed toasted sandwich with all the condiments and all the right things on
pickle
it,
relish.
then you start to ask yourself, is this, have you gone too far the other way?
Yeah.
Because he used to close out matches for us, and he hasn't recently. He didn't in Sydney, and he didn't at the Gabba.
Have you stepped over the line, JL?
Have you stepped over the line? Have you robbed a man of confidence? Confidence that he gains through the power and the majesty of the toasted sandwich.
With every bite of a toasted Sambo, he is closer to his 400th wicket, fueled on toasted Sambos. And again, if he's always been doing it, then JL, you need to know your role and you need to back off. Back off, bro. Again, we're assuming a lot here, but I feel like this is make a better argument than Nathan Lyon, who doesn't have to bowl immediately and
Doesn't field in close.
Doesn't field in
and
close.
Looks like he eats toasted sandwiches.
looks like a fucking the human
and,
toasted sandwich.
Sings the fucking victory song. He's played 100 tests. He's almost got 400 wickets, so he's got clout for days.
Has a hot miss.
He's threatened by no one. There's
No.
no other spinner you'd fucking pick.
No.
Like, no one else can spin the ball at all.
No.
So, like, your place in the side is locked the fuck down.
Third highest wicket taker ever in Australia.
Yeah. So,
like the guy's fucking.
if it's not him, then who? That's what I'd say.
That's a man of confidence taking a toasted Sambo on the field.
But where do we get to with JL?
I think that everyone needs to also calm. Is there a t-shirt brand called like Comma La Fuck Down or some shit? Has anyone seen that? Can you just look that up? Comma La Fuck Down or something?
I'd say this
Comme
is...
de Garçon?
Nah, I don't know. Just look for calm the fuck down.
Yeah, what I would say as well is, you remember in that the test documentary, Kawaj is like, oh, everyone's walking on eggshells, everyone's scared. Upon reflection, that's not necessarily a good thing. Like,
No, definitely
but it implies that there's a lot of beaters in the side that can't handle themselves and they don't want to get yelled at by daddy. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the problem with the Australian cricket team now. It never used to be the coach running the team. Like John Buchanan, I'm sure John was good, but if John looked at punter the wrong way, you would have got a fucking smack, right? Like,
Mate, John did fuck all.
Yeah.
John rode the coat
Yeah.
tails.
Yeah.
He knows that. We all know that.
with the greatest respect to John, he
Well,
did
of
absolutely
course.
nothing.
And had one of the great jobs of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's certainly changed. And to be honest, those boys needed a leader, an alpha, to go in there and tell them what's what. But that doesn't mean that you should be fucking scared of him. You just follow his lead, right?
I think it's just because we haven't got a captain with any fucking like Tim. We do, but like, might take Tim Payne out of the equation when it was back to Smudge. Post Clark, post punter, we didn't have a captain that was like a man. We had a boy captain. We had a Peter Pan captain, right? And so it was like, this guy isn't a leader of men, which we found out, but he's not like assertive alpha. His voice sounds like he's fucking sucking on helium balloons. Like, there's nothing about him where you're like, oh, this guy, I want him to, just throw me in the fucking long grass and have his way with me, right? Like, there's just none of that. There was none of that.
Nah.
And that's what you need to be able to...
I didn't want him to tell me up.
Nah, not even a little bit.
Not even
right?
a little bit. And you need some of that.
You need a little bit of that.
A lot of it preferred.
You need a lot of it. You need a lot of it to basically negate the coach.
That's
To
right.
make the coach like sort of a more John Buchanan as opposed to a JL.
More. Have you considered this? Have you considered that? Some tactic here, some tactic there, some opinion here, some
Here you go.
opinion
This is
there.
what it's like when I played.
As opposed to a rugby league coach,
Who
which is more sort of
picking the side. Like,
holistic.
the captain used to pick the side, right? Am I incorrect in saying
Well, they
that?
used to be a selector.
Yes. Are they not anymore at all?
No, they're not.
See, that's bullshit.
They're not a selector now. I think they have a say in... Their opinion is asked for, but they're not a selector. Whereas they used to be an out-and-out selector.
Yeah, to me that seems like the...
Well, they wanted to take the pressure off the table by if the captain's picking this bloke over that bloke, they thought it created an environment
It worked
where
for 100 years. Well, they've basically de-sexed the Australian captain, right?
they have.
neutered him.
They've
taken his nuts.
They've taken his nuts. You're dead right.
You've
They've
gotta
taken his nutsack off.
Give the nuts back to the Australian skip and give him the power to fucking make decisions.
Yeah.
You take the nuts off a man and then you're upset that he's like not killing it. It's like, well, he doesn't have any balls.
Yeah. Where's he getting his testosterone
Yeah, exactly.
from?
He's depleted. He's a eunuch.
He looks down. He knows he's a eunuch.
He's a fucking eunuch, dude. He's a vibrato now or whatever it is.
He knows, mate.
Castrato.
Castrato.
Yeah.
That's exactly
He's not a fucking stallion, mate.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Mate, you can't send him to stud post career.
I know you can't.
Knockout.
He knows when his career's done. He's going to the glue factory. He
Straight to
knows.
the glue factory.
Or he's going to go to pony school and
Yeah.
get ridden by fucking. He doesn't even get to run.
Or go and do the boundary for Big Bash, which is the same thing as the glue factory.
Yeah,
Boundary rider for Big Bash games.
that's his future now
Yeah.
that he's a castrato.
Yeah.
So give the balls back to the Australian captain, and you won't have this problem with JL fucking going high on power.
Exactly. Let the captain, mate. And also, like,
'Cause
why
you
do you
need-
think Smudge just let them cheat? Like, saw it happen and goes, I don't want to know about it because his nuts were gone. Completely gone. That's why his voice is so fucking high. What do you think this is?
He was castrated.
He was castrated.
Castrated, yeah. Look, I think that, we need to get back to
Big, bald captains.
big balls.
Captains with sacks.
Big balls.
Full sacks.
Go, like, you got a skipper with a big sack on him, and he gets it out in the shower all the
Yeah,
time.
fuck yeah. Clear eyes, full sacks, can't lose.
The boys see it.
Yeah.
The boys know.
Like, oh, yeah.
Okay, I know who to respect.
Yeah, this guy.
That bloke.
Look at him, like, banging between his legs.
And then you go from there.
Yeah.
And then you go from there. That's what I'd be doing.
Yep.
Stop castrating.
Stop castrating.
Start winning.
Start winning, exactly.
That's our motto now.
Yeah. Stop castrating, start winning. That's cricket.
Yeah, definitely.
Eddie, huge yarns this week.
Massive.
Honestly, what we've been waiting to get to.
That's right. Big Bash League final.
Now, sent this article by a driblet and good friend of the show, Carly Austin, whom we all love here. She is she's our friend, but she's also the fiancée of one Hamish No Ball Street. And not no testicle balls, I mean bowls no balls for Thick Ropes County 11, who I may have been talking about at the start of the podcast. Didn't name him. She sent us an interesting article about sort of this new, I guess, marketplace within sport, and specifically in NBA at this stage. But so, there's a lot of, like, you see heaps of people now, have been forever, but like into sports cards. Oh, there's Babe Ruth cards sold for like fucking $10 million, whatever it is. And then now that the sports card industry is almost like, booming again. I'm not into it. No disrespect to anyone who is, but I'm just sort of a bit like,
Whatever.
it's Pokemon cards for adults. But there is this new thing that Carly was telling us about, which is like the modern version of that, which is where you're able to buy almost the highlight of a moment. So you will own the footage of the moment. So I'm just going to read this article here a little bit.
Flesh it out a bit. Because we were talking about this on the weekend.
Yeah.
I'd like some clarity around a few things.
So it's called a digital collectible, I guess. And yet another sign of the upward ascendancy of both the sports card and digital collectible markets, 3 limited edition NBA highlight video cards have sold for more than $30,000 over the past 10 days on NBA Top Shot, a blockchain-based platform that allows fans to buy, sell, and trade numbered versions of specific video highlights. It's pretty fucking interesting, right?
Like what sold?
The NBA Top Shot is a joint venture started in July 2009. Best known for the created crypto. No. Most probably a blockchain-based game. After packs sell out, the only way to acquire NBA Top Shots is on the peer-to-peer marketplace. Once purchased, those highlights go into a buyer's encrypted secure highlight wallet. Each individual NBA Top Shot video card has value due to its authenticity and scarcity being secured by a blockchain. Since its launch, the company has reportedly registered nearly $20 million in sales, $6 million from packs, and $14 million on its secondary marketplace, with upwards of 1.5 trading volume.
But I want to know what people have bought.
Here it is, huh? I think. Skyrocketing value of NBA Top Shots recently has, on January 15, a Ja Morant highlight, number 1 out of 49, was purchased off the platform's secondary marketplace for a then record $35,000. According to the Action Network, the Morant highlights original owner got it out of a pack and sold it in November. So I guess similar to cards, you can get packs of highlights, right? So you get packs of cards, you don't know what you get, and then in there you get some fucking cool shit.
Right. But who owns them? Like, does the broadcaster own the rights before that?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure here. The new owner then sold it last week for $35,000, making an exceptional return on investment less than 50 days. Morant Sale Group investors bought a LeBron James dunk highlight. So, 4 days after the Morant sale, a group of investors bought a LeBron James highlight for $47,000. Then on Friday, a collector purchased a number 1 LeBron James moment from Top Shots from the Top Series 1, set for a whopping $71,000.
And that, because I think the idea is then you own that moment in time.
But what I don't get is what differentiates that between me just going onto YouTube and downloading a video and having it saved.
Nothing. It's more about like if it was going to be. I think if it was going to be used,
Well, you then have the rights.
you
to
then
use
have the
it.
right. Like
Yeah.
I think that maybe
Yeah.
there'd be something like that. But also, there's nothing stopping you from owning a fucking LeBron James rookie card and me owning one as well. But they're still maybe scarce, and that's how.
Yeah. They've probably got some cool watermark with the number, the serial number. on it
Yeah,
or some
something
shit.
like that. I'm just trying to. So here, last week a new all-time record was established for an extremely rare PSA 9 graded 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle rookie card. So this is a card sold for $5.2 million.
Fuck me dead.
Right?
That is outrageous.
Ridiculous. Anyway,
What moment would you buy if you could buy one?
that's the great question. What moment would you buy? Because, I mean, there's plenty you could do. And I guess it depends what the moment is like. If you want the greatest, like, a moment in sort of a global sports situation.
I
or
think,
if you
backyard stuff. don't you?
backyard stuff. So, like, what you mean backyard is in, like, me hitting a conversion from the sideline on my bad side when I was 14? Like that? Or
No, I
more
mean like
other people?
Steve Waugh, last ball of the day.
Fuck with.
Peter Siddle
SCG.
hat trick on his
Peter
birthday.
Siddle hat trick. Look, I love Siddle, but it wouldn't be Siddle's hat trick because we lost the series and he.
And we drew that test,
Yeah,
and
you know.
we lost the series 3-1.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's Peter Siddle.
It's Peter Siddle. That's also with the greatest respect. I would go. Fuck. Now I'm trying to think about ones where you'd go like, what to get played heaps if you wanted to. I'd
Shane Warne's 700th wicket to get played a fuckload.
Warney's 700th wicket would, but and so it is fucking Gadding ball, but they're all very generic. Steve Menzies try in the grand final.
Yeah, well, that's the one we were talking about on the weekend.
Were we?
Yeah,
Fuck, I
we
don't
were.
remember that at all.
Yeah.
The Tedesco winning Origin in the last minute.
Not bad. Pretty recent. Again, I don't know. I think maybe I just get a bit more of a nostalgia boner. But the recent ones are probably the ones where you're better off getting them,
Joey
right?
going blind in 97.
Joey going blind, unfortunately breaking our hearts, but still one of my favourite Rabs call ever is that moment.
Imagine owning that.
Yeah.
Being like, no one else can watch it again.
Yeah, I've taken it off. This is a bit different, but Mick Fanning getting attacked by a shark, that'll get played a lot.
It would.
It's not really a moment in sport, but it is.
Well, it is a moment.
It's a moment in sport, absolutely. Sterling Mortlock's intercept against the fucking All Blacks.
Yes.
That was a good one.
I mean, similar to the Mick Fanning, would you get Andrew Simon shoulder charging the streaker?
Yes.
Owning that would
if
be...
it was a cheap one, like, you know, it wouldn't
Unblurred
be-
dick as well. You'd
Yeah.
want the unblurred
No,
one.
of course. If I'm buying it, I'm getting unblurred.
Yeah.
You want to see that thing get whiplashed.
Well, because apparently unblurred, the man's immense. Like the thing whips around
Of course
like a
he
fucking
is.
stock whip.
Not big enough to intimidate Roy, though.
Oh, nothing is. Nothing is.
Well, Roy's bigger.
Roy's a
so,
monster
you know,
from what we've heard.
like John Eels fucking conversion, shit like that.
Yeah, John Neal's conversion, Todd Kefu's try.
Yep.
What else did you get?
I'd buy Johnny Wilkinson's drop goal and burn it.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
no
yeah,
one
yeah,
can watch
yeah,
it
yeah,
again.
never watch it
Else can
again.
watch it.
We're like, oh, what do you mean? And I'm like, oh yeah, there was a drop
No,
goal.
it was gone.
Like
sorry.
people know it happened, but you can't ever watch it.
You never watch
ever.
it again. No, we burnt it.
I'd take the 08 grand final and just lock it away somewhere.
I bet you would. I bet you would. And then we'd murder you. That's what we'd do. We'd lock you away.
I would swallow the key.
We'd lock you away with it. We'd buy the rights to your life. Yeah, I think that's pretty fucking. I mean, like, obviously, send in your moments you'd want if you want. We might play them, we might not. Probably age badly in a week. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Just like the digital, the digital collectibles.
Yeah, it is cool.
The future of that sort of shit
No, that's cool.
makes sense, and of course,
Makes sense.
it's crypto based.
Makes sense.
Thank you, Carly, for sending that in.
Kind regards. It's
been a long morning.
We've really got. I went to bed last night and then had a horrible sleep, sweating like I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do here. Obviously, sweating out the weekend's sins. And then I was like, I just don't know how I'm gonna do it today. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, and I still don't know how I've done it. I don't remember what we've spoken about.
I've got no idea, but I know that we've made it.
We've fucking made it. We're here. We've arrived at the end.
Thank God.
You never know. You never think you will.
And then you do.
And then you do. Reach out, Kelly Slater. I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's all I'll say.
That's all I'll say.
Keep your eyes peeled. Just keep your eyes peeled. That's all we'll say.
Keep your eyes peeled. That had nothing to do with Kelly Slater, but just looking forward to this weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Could you two just not talk anymore?